Hey, good day everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I had debated whether or not I was going to carry on with this interview between Grayson and Tricia from Websleuths, but having heard Tricia absolutely going off on Ashley Banfield, and accusing her of being lazy and irresponsible and just doing things for clicks, I feel like, yeah, I would like to carry on analyzing her level of investigative integrity as it relates to this situation. So I'm just doing this for entertainment. These are just my opinions. I don't have any professional mental health qualifications. I'm an ex-mechanic with an English degree. I have a lot of experience with toxic people, so those are my credentials for kind of responding to this. So let's get started with part 2. Let's go.
Was it Megan last night, Stacey, that talked about how this woman thought he had a PhD in philosophy, that she didn't understand what PhD meant? Yeah.
Yes, it was Megan.
Yeah, and she said, she thought it was a PhD is it means that you're a philosopher of this topic. You know so much. You have a PhD basically, and she thought you had a PhD in philosophy. No, that's not how it works. So anyway,
so there was some confusion about whether Dr. John's PhD was in psychology or philosophy. So that's what she's talking about here, and I guess there was some confusion about the PhD, which stands for Doctor of Philosophy. So, moving on.
I don't know why they did that. That's very, very. Oh, let me just read this one thing. Sorry, that was wrong. I just want to say hi, Susie B. Whenever I see that B, I think it's so cute. So, anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so you did find it. Okay, so this is a statement that was going to be presented in court, or was it presented in court?
No, this was the just a sentence of the stalker's declaration.
Okay, declaration, right.
She's talking about Lauren's goal is to quash her efforts to investigate and report truth and exercise her free speech rights under the First Amendment. For example, Matthias often makes claims regarding her husband's credentials as a psychologist and adjunct professor at University of Nevada, Las Vegas, UNLV. However, I learned that UNLV has no record of Matthias' husband serving as an adjunct professor, which Matthias appears to acknowledge in her declaration she did not. I created a video discussing this issue and posted it for public information. If I recall correctly, in Lauren's declaration, she said that he supervises students. That is an adjunct professor. You guys also saw a thing on screen the other night, if you watched.
I'm not sure what the point of all this is, but okay, that they're trying to prove that Dr. John has actual credentials, but to me, that just is showing us that he has blown past any professional ethics that he should have been beholden to make up stuff about Christina. So I don't think that this is the winning argument they think it is.
Lauren's live, where she shows from a director, I can't remember this woman's exact title, but she's a director at UNLV, and she did say that he was an adjunct professor. John has her in that title. Adjunct professors at UNLV are not staff members, they're voluntary.
Right, exactly.
So while he does work at UNLV, he does work at UNLV for supervising students. He might not get paid for it because it's a volunteer position. Right. But he is an adjunct professor. So that's not...
But I do think that that's significant, right? I mean, being accepted as a volunteer isn't really the same thing as being a paid employee, and I think that that's a significant difference.
That's not investigating and posting truth. That's actually defamation.
Yeah, that's posting something that isn't true and not understanding the questions that you're even asking.
So again, the legal expert Grayson is here to tell us what defamation is while she's literally defaming Christina. So interesting.
Right. And so she posted that, which was not true. And again, that was from her declaration. And see, I don't know how these things work.
She doesn't know how these things work, and yet she's out here acting like she does.
You get to respond to that, or?
I'm not super familiar with the whole court process, but
she's not super familiar with the whole court process, but she's gonna be out here giving us legal definitions of things that she has no idea about.
You right here from what we went through, or kind of how I was involved in this. You make your initial claims to the court with declarations and supporting evidence showing why, and then you can add follow-up to it, right? And so yes, you can make follow-up declarations that show more of what's going on.
Okay.
I feel like how Grayson is involved in this is that she involved herself in it. Instead of having professional boundaries herself, she has involved herself in Lauren's personal problems.
Okay. So this is just one. This gives you an idea of the mindset here. This person said this was her, free speech, constitutional right. Free speech doesn't give you the right to post misinformation, to say things that are not.
Speculating about stuff isn't defamation, though, is it?
True. That's not free speech. Yeah. That damages the person. That can damage a person's reputation. It can damage their ability to earn a living.
Yeah.
So if she had watched any of this, mind you, I guess this is before John's 4-hour response. So all of this is defending John prior to him blowing his own reputation in the same way that Lauren did.
It's very scary. It's an existential threat to somebody's career.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Existential threat. Oh, those are big words. Grayson. Very nice.
So, anyway, go. Please continue. So,
I'm hitting the mic. I'm not used to being behind the camera.
I know. I love it. You're doing great, by the way. You're doing great. I want to make sure you don't get really upset and stressed out. So, because I want this to be your time. This is whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to get off your chest.
Yeah.
We're here.
Yeah, we've already established that these guys have become enmeshed already prior to this interview. That Grayson had reached out to Tricia when she was so upset because no one in her real life understood true crime. Although that doesn't make any sense to me because you don't need to understand true crime to understand what's happening here. Like, it's not that complicated. But we already know these two are enmeshed, so whatever's going on here is literally about protecting Grayson, and it's not about the truth, and we're going to get a lot more of the pathos and the ethos to do that, so yeah, just keep your eye out for that.
Okay.
I wrote a little list, which I did talk to you about.
And that's fine. We can talk about that.
And let's see. I do want to talk about this. In smear campaigns, often, Lauren got a lot of messages that say, you know what you did. Everyone knows what you did.
Yes, exactly.
When somebody is being called evil, or that everybody knows what you did, or you're horrible, it damages you.
It only damages you, I'm going to suggest. It only damages you if you did something. And the fact that maybe Grayson doesn't know exactly all of the things that Lauren did seems very obvious. Lauren manipulates like she breathes, so I just can't imagine being that upset when I genuinely didn't do anything. Like, I feel like I could straighten things out with people that mattered to me because I have enough of a reputation as a reasonable person with good integrity that people would be willing to hear me out. So I think that says a lot right here, that people don't want to hear Lauren out, and she is talking about how damaged Lauren is by that.
Begin to question yourself. Who am I? What did I do?
What did I do? What did I do? You go through your whole life. What did I do?
And so that goes...
So that's what happens to people who are gaslit and lied to and abused by narcissists. So again, this is projection. Straight up projection.
Into, and I know I'm a little bit all over the place, but that goes into how vulnerable somebody must have been to be willing to hand over 6 years of their messages to me and say, please go through all of these.
But why? Why is she handing over her 6 years of her messages to you, Grayson? You're a producer. Are there no alarm bells going off in the heads of either of these people? Clearly not. Tricia's just completely bought the narrative, and she hasn't even realized that handing over 6 years of her messages, of Lauren's messages, to her producer is very questionable behavior.
Lauren did that, gave those you message, and that's pretty amazing,
I did. I spent a lot of nights going through every single written correspondence she's had with anyone for 6 years.
So why is she spending all of her nights doing this if she's not totally enmeshed? And that's what she is. She's totally enmeshed. Beyond being able to see reason or see a future for herself outside of the situation, would be my guess. Like, it's bizarre. I mean, I would literally be running a mile at this point.
What did you come away with? What did you think?
I told Lauren if there was anything of concern, and she went to those people and made apologies. Whether or not they received anything, she made apologies. But I also found out Lauren's a lot funnier than I actually knew. She has a sense of humor. She's human, like all of us.
So I just feel like Lauren's sense of humor is like a lot of narcissists. It involves punching down or just being really, really basic and thinking of yourself as wild and crazy and really out there. I mean, obviously, Lauren has Grayson in her thrall. So the fact that Grayson thinks Lauren is really funny is not really surprising. It's more of a symptom of that.
What she might have felt in 1 minute might not be what she feels in the next.
Right.
But who would want to give over 6 years of their messages to anybody to read? I wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
I'm the first one to say, not mine.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, unless I had gone through them all and taken out anything that made me look even remotely bad and shifted things around to, craft a narrative.
No.
Not because it's horrible, but it's just personal.
But also, think of this. Do any of you in this chat remember what you said 5 years ago to this day on a chat?
No.
I know that I wasn't, slamming people that trusted me and thought I was friends with them. So, do I remember exactly what I was saying 5 years ago? No. But I know that it wasn't anything like what Lauren's been saying.
Do you have any idea what your conversation was about? So when somebody's basically threatening you that they...
I mean, I can have some idea of what my conversations were about. I can say that I do not go around trashing people behind their back in text messages with other people who are mutual friends with people. So to say you have no idea, I think is disingenuous BS, and it's another manipulation.
That all your messages are being released. Like, you literally are like, what could I have said in 5 or 6 years?
What did I say?
That's very scary. You don't know.
I mean, either she's fallen for Lauren's bullshit line of it's very scary, or she's been doing some trashy things behind the scenes as well. And I mean, otherwise, I can't imagine it being very scary. I don't necessarily want people reading my intimate thoughts about things, and if I had shared with people things that were personal and intimate, then that might feel a little bit unnerving, but not scary in terms of this kind of having to rethink what kind of a person I am. Like, that tells you so much about these people, right? That unless they're under a microscope, they don't care what kind of a person they are.
When not everybody's telling you you're horrible and that you're bad, you might start to believe it about yourself.
Sure.
And it was really hard to see that with Lauren. I saw her self-esteem go down. I saw her become a different person. I think we're all changed.
Again, this is like the shame rage spiral that narcissists and people with high narcissistic traits go through when their facade has been revealed to be a facade. And again, yes, I know, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. I mean, these people don't go through that much effort to hide who they really are because who they really are is some great, humble person. It's because who they are is a transactional, lying facade of a human. And it's shameful when that's revealed. And that's what she's describing.
From this. I'd be lying if I said I think our lives are just going to go back to normal and we're just going to be the same people we once were. I don't think any of us ever will be.
No, your DNA has changed because of this. I guarantee it.
Very
It's sad.
What is she talking about? Your DNA is changed because of this? Like, literally, she has no idea what she's talking about in terms of what's actually happened. And now she's going to say something like, your DNA is changed by this? What kind of a thing is that to even say? Is it meant to be hyperbole? Is it meant to be a metaphor? Like, did she say literally? I don't want to listen to it again because it's too boring, but these people are so full of shaving cream that it gets boring listening to them.
It's sad.
Yeah.
So this is going on. I'm sorry, please continue. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, that's what I want to say. You can segue into something else if you want
Okay,
to.
well, I was just going to say this is going on. This is somewhat of an organized effort by a group. Again, why? I'm going to bring Stacy in. Stacy, we've talked.
Oh God, let's hear what Stacy has to say. Nothing good, I'm gonna guess.
A lot about this. And one of the things that Lauren said was that when this person found out that through these messages that Lauren had called her annoying, and that's maybe what started it or was part of it. And you come back and you always correct me when I bring that up, and I want you to correct me now. What do you think this was? No, I want you to do it.
It's just my opinion. It doesn't mean I'm right. Yeah, well, I don't think the text message started the situation. I think these women were jealous, jealous, angry.
So I wonder what evidence she has for these women being jealous, because I haven't seen any evidence of that at all. They all seem to have Lauren's number pretty well. And why would someone who is an authentic, empathetic human why would you be jealous of someone like Lauren? I just can't imagine wanting what Lauren has in the way that Lauren has achieved it. As a person of integrity and decency, that seems very far-fetched. And I haven't seen any evidence at all that any of the women that have spoken up against Lauren are anything but decent women of their word. That's it.
Just because of the jealousy, and they used what they could find to try to take Lauren down, which would be these text messages and whatever else. Yeah.
Right. Oh, sorry, I grabbed the wrong one there. I was trying to grab something else. Hang on just a second. This is what I was trying to grab.
So I don't think they were the cause. I think they were the weapon.
Yeah, exactly. They used that
That's a very good point.
Yeah. I think they got jealous.
Again, this is like a really simplistic way of writing all this off as petty mean girl stuff without ever having to investigate what's actually going on.
Of Lauren's hard work and success, according to Carly. I absolutely agree. So this is going on. And
so she absolutely agrees based on nothing. She hasn't done any investigating. And then here she is a few weeks later absolutely losing her bananas at Ashley Bamfield and accusing her of not doing any investigating. So we have the pot calling the kettle black, and it's no surprise at all, because she obviously has this idea of herself as some moral arbiter, regardless of how much investigating she actually does. I have no idea how much work she's done on the Ramsey case, and I certainly have my own doubts about John Ramsey, but it would take a lot more than that for me to start trashing someone like Ashley Bamfield, who has had a long and illustrious career in true crime.
the thing is, Grayson, you don't know where this is going to go. You don't know where it's going to end. You don't know how it's going to end. What do you do? How do you continue on when this is coming at you?
Yeah, that was the worst part.
Right.
That was the worst part. I had no control over the situation. Lauren had no control over the situation. We still don't. But like, we didn't. There's a smear campaign happening. I'm telling her, Lauren, this isn't who you are. Like, you can't believe in this. I've gone through everything of yours. Like, you're good.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm like, oh my gosh, like these are our careers and our livelihoods, and how bad does this get? And when does it stop?
Yeah, they had no control over the situation, and Lauren, as a very controlling individual, must have been extremely alarmed by that. And we've all been witness to the body cam footage that shows us just exactly how far they were willing to go to try to gain control of the situation. So, I mean, obviously at this point, little Grayson here didn't know that the body cam footage was going to come out, and she didn't know that we were all going to see just how far she was willing to go to shut down innocent people, to protect her employer with whom she's completely enmeshed.
At what point does it stop?
When do they give up,
Right. What?
I mean, I think it'll probably stop when Lauren shuts down Hidden True Crime and buggers off into obscurity. That's my guess.
What gives? And when the stalker kept going, at some point you can only gray rock this type of stuff for so long before you have to take action, because it's becoming dangerous and scary, and it's literally an existential threat.
So she likes the existential threat thing. Makes her feel very important and very righteous, and completely ignores everything that was said by the police, the detective or Officer Bovey, and by the judge. So she knows this. So this is disingenuous. What she didn't know was that all of that stuff was going to come out to the public. Although she and Lauren both should have known. It still remains the biggest shock of this whole situation to me, is that they seem to be unaware that all of their machinations were going to be revealed.
And I certainly don't mean to put words in Dr. John's mouth, but didn't Lauren read something from Dr. John about how these things can escalate? And that's,
So is she trying to now give us like the idea that she's got some integrity? She's not going to put words in John's mouth, but she's just going to fall for all of this hook, line, and sinker? They don't really mesh, Tricia. Like, either you've got integrity or you don't. And so far it's looking very much like you don't, because it is weeks ago now, and you could have come out and admitted your mistake, and yet you have not.
that's scary. Because I want people to realize this information is going out. You know, it's going out on TikTok and going out to your colleagues, but you don't know who's getting the information. It could be somebody that you don't know, that you know.
So this is, to me, this is why it's such good advice to not be a dick. It's very simple.
Never seen before. But they, in their mind, they take it and they are unbalanced. And you don't know what they're going to do. And that's what people have to realize. When you say this stuff like this, it can cause some, you don't know who's taking that information and what they're doing with it.
So, like, one of the things that one of the narcissists in my life used to say to me many moons ago, when I was quite young and still very impressionable, and information about narcissism and NPD and all of these cluster B personality traits was not lying thick on the ground the way it is now, used to say, that this is what abusers do, right? This is private, it's between us. Why are you telling other people you shouldn't tell other people? And I remember at the time being like, if you were really kind and nice to me, that's what I would be telling people. But you're a jerk to me, so that's what I'm telling people. So, govern yourself accordingly. Grayson, Lauren, Tricia, Stacy, who seems to have drunk the Kool-Aid just as thirstily as Tricia, and Duty Ron and Ed Wallace.
Yeah. So, and this is going on, you're like, when is this going to stop? What do we do? And the term gray rock, one of my favorite terms that we learned from Lauren and Dr. John, that means basically just act like they're a gray rock.
So I feel like they didn't really gray rock anything. They may have not responded directly right away, but I don't think that that's evidence of gray rocking. Gray rocking is a term that people use to describe the way that you can interact with a narcissist that is most likely to protect you from giving away any kind of emotion that they can hook into and start to manipulate you. So she's using the term wrong, and she's describing the things that people need to do to protect themselves from people like her and Lauren. So, more projection. Not surprising.
They mean nothing. They're just a gray rock. And that's usually a great way to deal with situations like this. In fact, I think I told you guys, ignore it. But it was impossible to ignore when they started calling your colleagues, and started calling people you knew to try and get them to hate Lauren. To try and get them, to believe something about her that was...
So I don't think that people were trying to get other people to hate Lauren. I think that they were informing other people of what they knew, so that those people had the appropriate information with which to make up their own minds about Lauren. And that's a very different situation than what she's describing. So, literally, I'm not here trying to get people to hate these guys. I'm here trying to get people to use their critical thinking skills to interpret this and maybe come away with a different understanding of what's going on than what they're being told by these guys.
It's awful and not true.
Yeah.
So, what happened? Okay, well, tell me how you're feeling during this time. What are you doing?
I'm feeling out of control.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling out of control. I'm feeling scared.
Right.
I don't feel like I can go to work in a public place without feeling like people are filming me and doing things to basically just like be a menace in my career. Yeah, pretty quickly, my anxiety heightened. I became super anxious.
So again, like, she's saying that she's describing this as though these people were coming out and filming her apropos of nothing, when in fact Lauren and Grayson were very active in the filming of these other women. So she's cherry picking the information to try to look like things are much worse for them than they really are. And although I will accept that things were anxiety provoking and difficult for her, I think that she had a choice whether to carry on in that situation, and she was so committed to it that she was prepared to put her own mental health at risk to protect a grown woman who is almost twice her age. And Lauren should never have allowed any of it. She should have cut Grayson loose as soon as it became obvious that she was being harmed by this. And she could certainly have afforded to give Grayson I can't think of the word, but when you leave your work and they give you like some money, anyway, I can't think of the word, but they could have given her a package like, here, we're going to give you 2 months wages, so that you can transition into a new job, take care of yourself for a couple of months, and move forward in your life. And we love you, but we need to deal with this on our own, and the best way to protect you is to keep you completely out of it. That would have shown some integrity. Or Tricia could have suggested it to her. But none of these grown women seem to have any integrity.
The feeling of hopelessness, when does this end? How does this end? I don't know how this ends.
Exactly. How does it end? That's a scary thought. Right. You didn't know what the hell was going to happen. I want to address a comment. Can I do that real quickly? Okay. Jake B says, with respect, I see how it's upsetting, and the so-called stalker seems unstable, but I don't see how the legal appropriateness of saying it might escalate someday isn't proof of actual stalking. Nobody said that. Nobody said that if it escalates, that's proof of stalking. That never came anywhere close to what we were saying.
Yeah, if you read the Utah law.
Okay, so she didn't read that properly, and then she removed it so quickly that we couldn't then read it. So she said they didn't think that a restraining order was appropriate. So just saying, they're twisting things like right in front of our eyes here.
Oh, this is stalking. The Utah law states that this behavior is stalking.
Right, but saying that escalates.
So the Utah law clearly doesn't say that, because the judge would have said so. And the judge said, it looks to me like you're trying to shut down people's free speech rights because they're saying things you don't like. So we can ignore the legal expert Grayson here again.
I'm not. This person's trying to say that we said it's escalate. It could escalate, so therefore it's stalking. Nobody has said that. I'm just saying it's escalate, and who knows where it will go. But yes, and we can talk about the law a little bit later. But what you need to do is go watch Lauren's 9-hour video, and you'll.
So literally, it seems like the only evidence that Tricia has of any of this, of what's actually going on, is Lauren's 9-hour live and her conversations with Grayson. And if she has looked at those TikToks and felt that they were frightening or intimidating, then I would question her ability to interpret anything properly. Because I've seen those TikToks and they were mild. I mean, they were to the point and they didn't mince a lot of words. But there was nothing threatening or scary about them unless you happen to be the subject of them. And the scary thing is that you are being revealed as the kind of person that you really are.
Understand what we're saying here, okay? And I did not say if it's escalating, it's stalking. No, I feel it's already been, determined that there's stalking behavior all over this.
She feels that there's stalking behavior all over this, and that's all that really matters, is how Tricia feels about this. Because apparently she hasn't got a couple of brain cells to rub together to think about it in any cogent way.
And, but,
And look at Grayson. She's loving it, right? Oh, this big important creator on YouTube is backing her right up and saying how all terrible and scary it all is. It's a joke. This is a joke, and anybody who is convinced by this is needing to really develop some critical thinking skills.
Like you said, Grayson, you're sitting there every day. You wake up and you go, "What's going to happen today? What's going to happen today? And when will it end? When will it end?"
Felt like there was no end.
I mean, for Grayson, it could end literally today. She could literally just go, you know what? I am done with this, and I am very sorry for your troubles, and I'm going home. Literally, she could do that anytime. So, when will it end, Grayson? Well, when you decide to end it.
It's been horrific.
Right.
I don't want to leave my house most of the time. I just kind of want to be at home.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels too much.
Right.
Quite honestly, I haven't really left my hotel room in days.
So it's still affecting you horribly then.
Yeah. It's hard, right? Feels like there's a whole new set of challenges once you go forward with this.
Mm-hmm.
Retaliation is a very big fear of mine.
Right.
But at the same time,
So, retaliation for what, Grayson? What are people going to retaliate against you for? What have you done?
Lauren would say, and I would say, hands were forced.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Hands were forced. They do like the passive construction because it means that they are absolved of any agency in the situation. Hands were forced.
When you say hands were forced, then what happened?
yeah. So after
And what happened next?
going public with this was because we really had no choice. It was going to be public whether we wanted to or not.
But this way you could protect the privacy of Lauren's family.
Of our family, of our 8-year-old.
This is the way they could try to get ahead of it, and I am begging you to explain to me, Grayson, how any of this is protecting Lauren's son. You lying sack of lies.
Child who she didn't
Right.
want to go in depth about his mental health on the stand with a camera there.
Right. And
Nobody-
let's clear this up. He wasn't going to testify. That's been going
No.
around. Right.
No. No,
He's not
you're
going to
not
testify.
gonna. Yeah, the 8-year-old was not going to be on the stand, but she is never.
I would literally not put it past her, except that she wouldn't ever do it if there was any chance that it was going to get out, and we know that it would have got out.
Going to go in detail about her
Mhm.
child's mental health in front of a camera.
Right.
Most of you probably have never seen a photo of him.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of you don't know his name.
So, what is that? She's supposed to get an award for doing the absolute bare minimum to protect her kid? Like, give me a break. Please. And then she's going and giving him absolute terror about the idea that someone is going to come and kill his mother. It's such a load of nonsense. Oh my god. Again, with the pathos, but no logos.
Exactly.
She protects her child online.
And as she should. But let's back up a little bit, okay? Now, before we do that, do you want to read your list? We talked about your list. Would you like to read that now? Or it's up to you.
Yeah, I can go through a little bit of it.
Okay. And tell us what this list is.
Yeah, I just wrote a list of thoughts I've been having lately. Throughout this.
Mhm.
This has kind of changed my view on humanity. I will say so many of you guys have been so kind, and that's given me a little bit more hope in humanity.
Good.
And this thing has completely destroyed that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, after suffering at the hands of more than one narcissist in my life, I can say it did change my view on humanity. But again, to me, the idea that there are that many people that care about the integrity of the true crime community and are willing to speak out against creators who are irresponsible and potentially harming victims for clicks and money and notoriety. I think that says a lot about the good people in this community. And again, a lot of this is projection because these are the people that are doing the harming.
I just kind of wrote something recently, like a few thoughts recently that I've been having, and
Like, these are the thoughts that she was having after she said to Officer Bovey that she should contact one of the witnesses because she was the most likely to reveal sources because she had the most to lose as far as her career went. So we're now supposed to, knowing this, listening to Grayson here with her thoughts on all of this, it's kind of colored by who we know her to be.
Thoughts on friendship and how I don't think good friends, whether you're friends with them or not still, good employees, good contractors, ethical, whatever, you don't ever share private messages. And
There
you
you go.
recognize them.
There you go. And that's what was going.
So I think there are times that you share private messages, and if you want an example of something that is happening in the contemporary world, people have shared the private communications between Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. And there's very good reason for doing that, because it reveals to us the extent to which Trump was involved with the world's most famous and prolific child sex trafficker. So put that in your pipe and smoke it there, Grayson.
On here. Now, this person, the stalker, as you refer to them, they were a contract worker, and Lauren was done with her work, right?
No, Lauren wasn't done with her work. In fact, I
Okay.
believe, if I recall correctly, I believe the week this had happened, I had asked her for some stuff, and she told me she would get it for me I believe it was a cover photo for the trial. And then she just said, I think at some point, I don't remember, I don't have all my messages in front of me. I think I texted her at some point and said, don't worry about Lauren made one, and we're really happy with it. Because I hadn't gotten it. Yeah, so I just thought about friendship and what being ethical looks like in a job. That's not sharing private messages.
And she never once turned the lens of ethical behavior in a job on her own self or on her employer. So interesting, Grayson.
Just to weaponize them and to make somebody look horrible. It's not clipping messages. It's not what good people do. It's not what a good human does.
There
No
you go.
good human does that. And if you're doing
Good people don't try to get innocent people put in jail, or sick the cops on people because they have the most to lose. Just saying. Whatever Grayson has to say about good people here is completely negated by the things that we have seen her do on camera.
not and you think you're a good human, I don't know. Maybe think again.
And that kills me that these were private.
Right? I mean, it's not John, and she's no physician, but again, seriously, turn this lens on yourself, Grayson, and see if you pass muster after you've done that.
And I don't understand it. I don't understand it. It's horrible.
So Tricia doesn't understand it, and that's really not a big surprise to me because she doesn't appear to have actually looked into anything at all in any way. So she's going on the lies of Grayson and Lauren without actually investigating the situation.
Have they ever explained why they did it? You ever heard an explanation?
No.
I don't think they could give one, could they?
No, I don't.
Hang on. It's the garage door going up.
I don't know what their explanation is except for to warn people, which that's, again, a smear campaign.
And why?
So I think that's a pretty good explanation, is to warn people. And these guys are going to deny. Of course, Grayson is here to deny that any of what people are accusing Lauren of is true. So, they're looking for a reason. Why would people tell all these lies about Lauren? I mean, people are telling the truth about Lauren. And why would they do that? Because they want her gone. Because she is a blight on this community that means so much to so many of us. So it's not a big mystery. And the fact that these three are so baffled and bewildered by it is, it's kind of mind-numbing that, the only thing that they can come up with is that all of these women independently are just jealous of Lauren. It's absurd. They're as bad as Dr. John with this warped version of who Lauren is.
Why start it now? Why start it in April? Why start all of this?
Yeah.
And the problem is, it did escalate. It was like a stone gathering,
Hang on. There's the garage door again. Okay, and as for why started in April, I mean, I feel like it should have been started a long time ago. Um, Crescia has certainly seen for years um, what Lauren has been up to and what she's been willing to do for clicks and views. So, uh, why it started in April, Tricia, is because it was long overdue at that point.
A snowball, just going downhill, getting bigger and bigger, and it escalated. And then, did you want to talk about CrimeCon, or do you want to continue with your notes?
Yeah, we could talk a little bit about CrimeCon.
Because your notes were very compelling. I don't know how much you want to reveal of them, but I think it really gives a good picture of how you were feeling. So we'll come back to your notes. So at some point, I believe Lauren said we've got to take legal action. Is that correct? And again, you're not speaking for Lauren, but you know what happened. And when you're talking about feelings and things that happened to you, those are your thoughts and
Yeah,
yours alone.
this is all my view of how it looked or gone down to me, I guess we could say. Yeah, at some point.
At one point, Lauren thought, maybe I can weaponize the cops against my enemies. So they're going to frame that as taking legal action in a desperate situation, but we all know that's not true.
You know, gets to a point where it feels like it's escalating. You feel in danger. So yeah, she decided to take it the legal route because maybe the law could protect her. It says it will. The statute says it will, based on what's happening.
Sure.
So yeah.
Again, Grayson, the legal expert over here, is she's just going to twist things to make it look like the things that they did were reasonable instead of being absolutely vicious and an abuse of the law. Lawfare, I think they call it.
She did decide to go legal, and in Utah, everything when filed in a stalking injunction is private because details of your daily activities, your mental health, your anything you can think of. She listed a bunch of things that her attorney had written. That those things, the things that her attorney had written, are the things that you would find out in a stalking hearing and stalking.
So the things that her attorney had written is the same, like this is the same argument that John is going to make in a few days from this, right? When he reads out the motion that their lawyer wrote on their behalf, the one that the judge rejected, by the way, but she's gonna ignore all that too, right? Everything here is contingent on ignoring what actually happened in court and what they were told by Officer Bovey.
Paperwork and all of and declarations. So yeah, those are filed private. And they are filed private so that way the person who is being stalked can have...
The word is privately, Grayson.
Again, a sense of privacy and dignity, and those can't be weaponized to further stalking. And I've never seen a civil stalking injunction be broadcasted. Again,
okay, so I have not ever watched any of this, but I have seen comments in my own comment section from people saying these things are live streamed all the time. So the fact that Grayson has never seen one is not really evidence of anything.
Because it's private.
Right.
Somebody saying I'm in fear of my life, I wouldn't expect a news channel to go say, let me go broadcast them saying everything about their personal life, where they go, what they do, what their activities are.
But nobody did that. Like, what is she even talking about? Nobody did that, and I don't believe that that would have come out in the hearing anyway. And I mean, the fact is, Lauren is a limited public person, and she is personally announcing constantly where she's going to be. So
I wouldn't expect that to be broadcasted to people because that's actually that's how you further this kind of stuff.
Exactly.
So she doesn't know what she's talking about here, and she's just using her own very limited critical thinking skills to try to convince you that she knows something about the law.
Oh, can I stop you? Because there's something Precious said. And I want to bring it up, and then we're going to come right back to it, okay? Is that okay, Grayson?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can we just say that Lauren and Grayson's video about the stalkers is almost at 200,000 views on YouTube? This happens more than we know, and people relate to your stories. Bravo, ladies. So that...
Right, so just so for anybody who doesn't know, I'm sure you all do, but for anybody who doesn't know, Crescia has since retracted any and all support that she offered Lauren throughout this 9-hour pity party, and has realized what was actually going on. So to my mind, like, this is another kind of attempt to use a victim to prop up their own lies here, basically. So, I mean, fair enough in some ways, because Krisha did say that. She was in the chat, and she did say those things, and she has said as much. But just to say, you can ignore that, because Krisha has had a rethink, and those are no longer her thoughts on the situation.
Video, the 9-hour video, is just still hot, and people are watching it and they're learning. So Lauren it's a temporary.
If you learned anything from Lauren's 9-hour video other than what a absolute scumbag she is, please mention it in the comments, because I'd love to hear it.
Restraining order, meaning just what it says. It's temporary, and at some point there will be a court case. They will come back, and Lauren will attempt to make it a permanent. In Utah, I think it's 3 years. They have to go back every 3 years. So Lauren gets a temporary restraining order against this person. Does it say specifically, do you remember, that she can't go to CrimeCon, or what did it say?
So Tricia's not going to mention here that Lauren got that by telling a whole pack of lies, and that the courts don't have any choice but to grant temporary restraining orders based on evidence provided only by one person. In case you're not aware of that, that's what's happened.
Okay. Uh-oh. Here we go.
Sorry.
What happened?
I don't know.
Okay.
It just started buffering everywhere.
Okay, so you're good. Cool. Okay. So, do you remember what it said? Did it say she couldn't specifically go to CrimeCon, or what did the temporary restraining order say?
Yeah, it said no CrimeCon. It said 500 feet. I don't remember all the things. No contact of specific people, which included me.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as I know, Christina didn't actually she didn't actually receive the restraining order until she was already at CrimeCon. And until she had been served, there was no breaking of the restraining order. If she hadn't received it, she couldn't be breaking it.
And no social media posts about Lauren, basically.
That's right.
I don't know. Somebody just said that laptop again, Grayson. Blame that one on Lauren's laptop. My laptop. I was smarter than to use my laptop. My laptop has been having a lot of issues, and Lauren keeps saying, we need to get a new one. And I just keep saying, okay, we'll do that, and then we never do it.
I understand. I do.
Oh, that's so hilarious. That's a good example of the hilarious, sense of humor these people have.
So, you go to CrimeCon. Now, I want to make sure I get this correct. She wasn't actually served in...
She wants to make sure she gets this correct. Why? She hasn't made sure she's gotten anything else correct.
Utah, but she knew about it. She was told about it by her husband, or am I getting that wrong?
Yeah, so to my understanding, when in Utah, it is considered served when a person over the age of 18 years or older, again, I'm not a lawyer, but this is what I've been explained to, over the years of 18 or older gets it at the residence. So that's what happened.
Okay.
And then, so technically that was considered served. And she says in the body cam, her husband sent her photos of it, I believe is what she says.
Right.
And so. Yeah.
But she wasn't served. She didn't receive it. So Grayson's little understanding of things is big surprise, based in fantasy.
Knowledge of it at the very minimum.
Sure.
And then, we gave it over to Aurora Police in Colorado so they could enforce it. Because of the...
So I wonder what little Grayson would have done if she had spent a large sum of money to attend a conference, and then the night before her, someone sent her a photo of a restraining order saying she wasn't allowed to go. Would she just be like a good little girl and just go home, you think? Because that's kind of what she's trying to imply here.
The confrontations that had kind of happened, we were very concerned that there was going to be something that happened at CrimeCon.
Right, because you don't know. That's the thing. It's
again, if you don't know already, Lauren had the information way in advance of CrimeCon that Christina was going. Lauren announced publicly that she herself would not be going. And so Christina had every expectation of being able to go to CrimeCon and enjoy herself. And from everything I have seen and that I can put together, Lauren was plotting to get Christina arrested at CrimeCon so that she could have her temporary restraining order made permanent, and all of this would go away.
Very, exactly.
Although I don't necessarily think that all of it would have gone away either way, because there were still other people. I mean, perhaps she was hoping that putting people in jail would frighten other people off as well. But she would have, in my opinion, had to jail all of those people if she wanted to stop them from talking.
Yeah.
And sorry, I know I keep stopping, but can you imagine the fallout if Christina had been arrested?
Or PD took it and they ended up serving her physically.
And she went to CrimeCon anyway.
She left CrimeCon.
Oh, she did? Okay.
And they say the body cam that she can go to, well, she went to CrimeCon initially, right? And that's where they serve her.
Okay.
And then, I mean, that's proven on body cam that she's there.
Right.
And then, so they serve.
She hadn't been served yet, so proving on body cam that she was there is not the big whatever Grayson thinks it is. I mean, they're trying to, she's trying to go along with John's, I mean, he hadn't said it yet, but although I'm on camera, although I'm sure he had said it many, many times, this idea that Christina's oppositional in some way. And Grayson is trying to sell that here, too.
And then she was told that she could, like, be in the bar area. She asked if she could go to the bar at night with her friends, I believe is what she said. And they said she could be there, but she couldn't.
I wonder if they're going to explain why Lauren went to CrimeCon when she was so terrified of Christina. They're not going to explain that, is my guess.
Within 500 feet of us, if we were there, she needs to not be
Right,
there.
right.
And on Friday night was when she was in the bar when we were there. We had been there for hours. I have photos of Lauren with many hidden gems that night through the hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then I look over and she's feet away from me.
Yeah,
I'm like,
close
oh
by.
my God. Like, that's really scary.
Mm-hmm.
Again, with the scary. Like, what did she do, being a few feet away from you? What were you scared of? Did you think she was going to come and attack you? Like, what is she scared of? She never actually says what she's scared of.
Right.
So I went to see if there was a officer around. There wasn't. So I called Aurora PD and she ended up.
She called the cops. Good little Grayson. Learning from her boss. Good job, Grayson.
Leaving.
Right.
So that's,
Hold on 1 second. I need to do something here. Okay. There we go. Okay, go ahead. Moderators, please, if there's any negative comments, ban that person, please. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Did you hear that? If there's any negative comments, ban that person. This is an investigative reporter, by all accounts. I was never a fan of this channel. Just didn't, I don't know, I watched it once or twice and it didn't do anything for me. But I am beyond not a fan at this point. Like, this behavior is appalling.
Yeah, so that was really scary. And so,
Okay, I want to stop.
and also somebody in their socks at a bar when they have a restraining order, in my opinion.
Oh, for God's sake, with the socks again. Walking around indoors without shoes on is not evidence of emotional instability. No matter what spin these people try to put on it.
Oh my God, you're there long enough to get comfortable to take off shoes? Whoa.
And that's why I want to point out, you've got a restraining order against.
Oh, I see. Oh, she was in the bar long enough to get comfortable and take off her shoes. Again, there's no evidence that that's the case. Somebody, I think, commented in my comment section that Christina had blisters from a new pair of shoes. Now, I don't know if that's true. I haven't heard it directly from Christina, but, like, literally, there's a million reasons why you might take off your shoes indoors. Maybe she has chronic foot problems. Maybe she had terribly swollen feet from the flight that she took or something. Like, we have no way of knowing when she took her shoes off or why, and yet these guys keep trying to turn this into some kind of evidence of instability based on what? Like, again, there's no logos here, so this is just pathos and, for Tricia, ethos, right? My reputation as this big YouTube creator, and Grayson with the, oh, it's so scary, right? None of this is logical or follows any logical progression.
Somebody, you turn around and they're right there in the bar. That's unsettling. No matter what. Forget about
Literally, I can actually, okay, unsettling. Sure, maybe it's unsettling. It's not scary. And, I mean, I don't even think it would be unsettling, but it's a better word choice than scary. It's so scary. Like, again, with the pathos, right? Like, if you're that scared, go home. None of this makes any sense.
everything else. You have a restraining order against this person. You turn around and they're close by. Very, very unsettling. Very unsettling. So
Yeah. So yeah, there was just a lot of escalation. I don't want to get too much into the court process. I'm not an
There was just a lot of escalation, but I don't really want to get into it. So we're just going to move on. Just take my word for it.
attorney. I'm not Lauren's attorney. I'm not Lauren. I don't want to speak for any of them.
She's been out here speaking like she's got some special legal knowledge, so all of a sudden she doesn't want to do that. I wonder why.
She's a wonderful team
Could it be because she has no facts?
supporting her.
yes, she said, right.
She'll do what she needs to do through them.
Mhm.
So
So what's the wonderful team supporting Lauren? Anybody got any ideas? Is it her cosmetic surgeon? Her Botox injector? Does she inject that stuff herself? I have never used Botox or been anywhere near it. I don't know if people inject themselves. Based on the clip I saw of Lauren on Court TV the other day, she has badly overdone the Botox. Her face is frozen and doesn't move when she talks. And any practitioner of cosmology or cosmetology who would continue to give someone Botox injections when they're in that state needs to have their professional whatever taken away. So I am guessing that she's done it to herself, but I don't know that for sure, so I don't have enough knowledge. But she is not okay.
I get too much in the court process, but I will talk more on just the effects this side and go through my list of
Please,
points I want
please
to talk
do.
about.
Absolutely.
Let's see. There was another thing I've just been thinking about is this stalker says in her declaration to the effect of Lauren couldn't have been suicidal on July 7th because she posted a video on July 6th and did not seem distressed during that.
Wait a minute. So this person said Lauren couldn't have been suicidal because she posted a video the day before?
Yeah, to the effect of, I
Okay,
could find the
yeah.
full thing, but it's chilling because I think about high schoolers and I think about them going to school and they come home and
I mean, yeah, I guess there is some truth in the fact that people putting on a mask and carrying on is not necessarily evidence that they're fine. I don't think that I don't think that it has any real relevance here, but let's hear what she has to say.
10 p.m. when a child takes their life.
And they've been
Nobody
going
at
to school.
that they knew.
Right.
They were doing what they were supposed to do.
Sure. Exactly. Exactly.
So, you know,
That's
and again,
terrible.
this is their job.
Right.
I mean, I guess that's, there's some truth in it, but then here they are sicking the police on people, getting temporary restraining orders taken out on people, accusing people publicly of stalking them, and they don't seem to have any concern about Christina's mental health and how that might affect her or any of the other women that they have been accusing and smearing.
You're professional. Lauren's many great things, but she is professional. And you do what you do.
Okay, so again, like Tricia Griffith is literally just said, oh, Lauren's such a professional, without ever questioning how she has this young woman so enmeshed in her personal problems that it hasn't occurred to her that maybe Grayson needs to be protected and sent on her way while the adult Lauren Matthias fights her own battles. So again, like, I feel like we can ignore everything Tricia Griffith is saying in the same way that we were free to ignore Dr. John, Duty Ron, and Ed Wallace, because none of what they said was based on any kind of logic that anybody can follow.
Yeah, and if I'm correct, I believe that episode was edited, maybe just minimally, and I edited it, so it was pre-recorded.
Right.
Like, so I don't even know what day it was recorded.
Right. It was a recorded one. Yeah. So even though it uploaded the day before, didn't mean it was recorded that day. So it doesn't matter. I mean,
Yeah,
that's just a weird
regardless,
thing to
that
say.
literally does not matter.
Right. Right.
Somebody can do anything on a Tuesday morning and Tuesday night they're dead.
Exactly.
And everyone's going to say I didn't see the signs.
And
You know,
if you
there's a story about an 11-year-old girl a couple weeks ago who took her own, I think she was 11, she took her own life. Her mom says something.
Yeah, Lauren is just like an 11-year-old girl who took her own life a few weeks ago. She's just like that other dead victim. She's exactly like her.
To the effect of, like, she was just fine, she went into her bedroom and then never came out. That's an 11-year-old girl.
Oh God, that's horrible.
Like,
that's horrible.
What somebody does the day before does not mean.
So again, this is with the pathos, right? This is like another way to describe pathos is this, you know, appeal to the extreme, right? To get you all worked up and in your feelings about an 11-year-old girl who was bullied to the point that she took her own life. And then to extrapolate that to the situation with Lauren, even though it's not the same and it never happened in the way that little Gray Bay here is saying. And she's not the side of her personality, the sort of Machiavellian side of her personality that was just in there with the cops trying to get people in trouble, is carefully hidden at the moment while she does her little, which is similar to the way that Lauren behaves in this. You know, it's a bit like Wendy Adelson on The Stand, where she does the parted lips and the big wide Bambi eyes, and she tries to come off as this innocent little Bambi creature, right? Grayson's pulling that same stuff here. But keep the picture in your mind of her on her phone talking to Dr. Bovine going, yeah, I think you should phone Colette because she has the most to lose.
They're not having ideation, that they're not, like, anything. There's, like, that saying that, like, check on your friends who seem like the happiest or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Probably pretty true, in my opinion.
Right, exactly. It's absolutely true.
Well, I am sure going to listen to Grayson's opinion because she seems like she's so smart and well versed in the ways of life. It's bizarre to me that she has no idea how she comes off here, that she thinks that enmeshing herself with Lauren and sacrificing her own mental health in order to protect her boss, who is twice her age. I mean, she has no judgment that I would ever trust, unless it was something to do with producing videos, maybe, because I guess she does all right at that. But this? No thanks.
And again, Lauren's professional. You're not going to see this. Is not going to show through in her live streams or her video. It's not going to.
I mean, I'm telling you, people, go look at the law, or not Law and Crime, at the court, Vinnie Politan Investigates, I think, court TV video that had her on the other night, and tell me how Lauren's professionalism is so on display and nobody can see that she's absolutely cracking up, because at this point, she is, right? She has been revealed. Her facade has been revealed. And the spiral of shame, the ego spiral, is very real, and it's what we're seeing now, and I suspect that it is behind the insane amounts of Botox that she is apparently using at this point.
Show through.
Yeah.
You know, the depression and she, in my opinion, when I talked to her, she felt it was hopeless. Like, how the hell do we stop this? What do we do? And why? It's the why.
So what do you do to stop it is you own up to the truth, you tell everybody all the horrible things that you've done, and you apologize profusely, and you make a graceful and make a graceful exit. Yeah. And why? Because she's a lying, manipulative user of people, of victims, of anyone she can get her hands on, in service of her own success.
It can just make you lose your mind. You know?
Yeah.
But you saw it firsthand.
Yeah, I saw it affect Lauren firsthand. I saw it affect myself. I saw it affect their son. I saw it affect John.
Yeah.
It's all of us. We've all been forever changed by this.
Sure.
So I think that's probably true. And I think it's not a bad thing. John's behavior has been revealed for what it is. Lauren's behavior has been revealed for what it is. Grayson's behavior has been revealed for what it is. I am incredibly sorry that John and Lauren's son has been affected by this, but that's entirely on them. They could easily have protected him from this, and if they had really wanted to, they would have done what I just said, which is own up, apologize, and make a graceful exit. So this is again the appeal to pathos, the appeal to the extreme, and it's not relevant in this conversation.
Been awful.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
In some ways, I think I'm changed for the better. I think I have more empathy for things. I think I've learned to look for evidence. Don't just believe things.
Mm-hmm.
So where was your empathy for Colette when you were sicking the cops on her, Grayson? Interested to hear an explanation of that.
Because that's really easy. I mean, I'm younger. I'm Gen Z. And Gen Z really believes in cancel culture.
Right.
And I wouldn't say I've always or really ever believed in cancel culture, but like this has catapulted that beyond. For like, I'm like, no way. Like people are canceling people for nothing.
For nothing, yeah. And this was really not. I can't think. I wish somebody had explained it to me.
So, like, the whole idea to me, the whole idea of cancel culture as like some kind of a, as though it's some kind of a bad thing. Like, it's the same way. So it's the same way that the term woke was twisted around to make it seem like it's a bad thing, when woke literally means, like, to be woke is to be aware of systemic injustice. And the right has used it to smear, DEI and anything like that. It's very similar with the cancel culture thing. Being held accountable for your toxic behavior is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. And they're going to talk about it here as though it's a bad thing. Because that's how the right has spun it to try to get out of being responsible for their own toxic beliefs and their toxic behavior towards women, towards minorities, towards the LGBTQ community, towards black people, towards immigrants, etc. So it's disingenuous bullshit. And for people who are supposed to be investigating the truth of things, they are employing this phrase as though it means what they are implying that it means, rather than meaning, accountability culture, basically.
What?
Yeah, me too. My text and DMs are open if you know something.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the past 2 days.
Yeah, we know her text and DMs are open because of the CC Suarez video where she reveals the texts and messages that Grayson sent her in an effort to try to excuse everything that had gone on by saying all of this is off the record and then spewing it all out before and even after CC Suarez said, I don't agree to any of this being off the record. And in fact, she said it more than once. And Grayson continued. So we know that her DMs are open. And part of the reason they're open is because she loves the attention. And she wants to keep it going.
Begun to piece things together. My phone's been really loud, but it's also been really heavy emotionally. I haven't really wanted to read stuff. I go online here and there, but like I don't really want to be a part of it. It's my life.
Yes, it is.
I'm living it.
It's her life, right? And she is completely oblivious to the fact that she has saddled herself to a family that has zero credibility, and that has now rubbed off on her, and she needs to be held accountable. And I suspect she's going to have a very hard time finding another job in this industry.
Want to see what people are saying about it online necessarily.
I understand. I completely understand. So I'm imagining at this time you're feeling pretty helpless. I bet that's a big part of your feeling.
Yeah.
So you can't do anything to help Lauren. You can't.
I can do nothing. I can support her. I can tell her she's a good person.
I can go on a YouTube live and tell lies. I mean, what do you mean there's nothing you can do? You're doing it right now. You're spreading lies and misinformation in an attempt to cover your own ass and Lauren's. but we've all seen it now. We've all seen the truth. So, sad.
We can, as we say, hidden true crime, we make good art. We can keep making good art.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're going through something like this, it affects.
So I don't think their art is that good. First of all, I find Lauren extremely off-putting. I find John extremely verbose and overbearing and not that interesting. I've seen their coverage of Delphi and the very, very flagrant connection they have with law enforcement. That means that they are not willing to look at the facts. So
That's how much you can work, right? Like a lot of
Absolutely.
There was a long time where, again, we still don't really know much of what is and isn't out there and what's going on, what everything. Like we really don't know much, but we know what the stalkers post online. We see all the things confronted. We see that kind of stuff. There's a undercurrent that we haven't quite. We don't know what.
sorry, I have to pause for a minute while the giant truck in the alley empties the Smith rate. So I had to stop everything for a minute. So carrying back on with Grayson here.
Everything about, right? And that's so when somebody's going through this, all you have is each other, right? Lauren, John, and I have only had each other, so we just like sit there and just talk about it.
Yeah, it's super creepy, right? And they don't. The fact that she doesn't know what she's revealing here, or that Tricia isn't saying this is not healthy, you need to get out of this weird enmeshment and go have the life of a young person, is very concerning.
Trying to figure it out. Like, you can almost go crazy trying to figure this out.
Did you see, did you notice there how she was kind of smiling? We just sit around and talk about it. I think she's getting a lot of, supply from this, right? She's getting a lot of sense of importance from this, that she is in this, they're in this together, and being loyal and being in this situation is giving her, she's getting supply from it. And you can tell by the way she was smiling while she talked about that that's the case.
Oh, I can see that, yeah.
Yeah. And so that's been really hard. It's mentally, for me, I know it's, like I said, it's affected them mentally, but mentally for me, it's been so draining.
Again, Tricia, this is your cue. Grayson, you need to take a break, dear. You need to go and spend some time with your family and your college friends and take some time off work while these grown adults figure out their own problem. But is she going to say that? Is she? Heck.
And so it's like I just can't wrap my head around it. Like the feeling of just I can't get my hands around this to understand it. If I could understand it, I could know how to fix it or try to fix it, or we could try to come up with solutions. But a smear campaign you can't, and then stalking when it's escalating.
I mean, part of the reason why it's so hard for little Gray Bay to understand over here is because it's a twisted BS narrative that is, being invented to try to absolve Lauren of the things that she's done. It is very crazy making to be around these types of people. And Grayson is attributing to Christina et al. The anxiety that she is suffering from being a part of this gross enmeshment with this toxic couple.
That's you can't do anything.
Right. You can't, and all you can do is depend on the law. And we've all heard those stories about how.
So the law has already explained to them that they don't have a case. And Grayson knows this very well at this point. She's been told, Dr. Bovey, and I quote, "I hate to say it, but I don't see a crime here."
I was being stopped, and the piece of paper just didn't do them any good. So, and I don't know how much you want to get into, but you came back, you had a hearing, but they let the woman go first. And then they didn't, so why don't you talk
We're
about
going to talk much about that. I don't know if they necessarily want to right now.
Okay.
Okay, they're going to misrepresent this here. They're going to suggest, I think Tricia is trying to suggest here that because Christina got to go first, it was all very unfair to Lauren. Grayson doesn't want to talk about it. You'll notice she's already hedging and moving away from that because it's very clear. It was very, very clear what the judge said. Right?
You don't have to
it was a hearing that got transitioned into it was an extended hearing, or extended or pushed. I don't know. So there was a hearing, and the stalker's attorney said, "Well, my client has witnesses from out of town, essentially." So the judge decided to hear from her witnesses and not us, and then extended it out. Never mind that we're from out of town.
Right.
And so, so that was a thing, and then it was pushed out to the rest of it was pushed out to October 16th.
Interesting, though, that there's no mention of the fact that Lauren got to give her evidence and get a temporary restraining order based on lies and not getting to hear from Christina at all. So, doesn't like it when it's happening to her, but she's all for it when Lauren's doing it. And she talks about ethics, this one.
And which was going to be yesterday, I believe. And then we found out on, I think it was Tuesday, that Long Crime was going to stream it. So it was really fast that we found out right before. We didn't have much time to like wrap our heads around that either.
We didn't have much time to cancel to avoid being revealed for the lying scumbags that we are.
But yeah, like I said, I don't. The
And that's
in and of itself is
That's perfect. That gives the basic outline of what happened. And this is a great comment. I think this really says it all.
The basic outline of what happened, says Tricia, with no idea at all of what happened.
And it's, Jeannie Phipps says, it's hard to understand something you yourself would never think of doing to someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one didn't age well, did it, little Gray Bay? Now that we know what you were willing to do to other people. Huh. Interesting about that. I wonder if Jean Phipps has had a chance to review any of the evidence and maybe changed her mind. Because we know that Tricia, that the comments that Tricia made have since been completely retracted. So maybe Jean Phipps has had second thoughts as well. So honestly, I mean, you can't, unless you know these people and you have evidence that they've never changed their minds about this, it's hard to say that any of these people up here are still on side with this dumpster fire train wreck.
And that's there is the whole crux of the matter right there. That's it.
Yeah.
You like I said, we talked about this list. It was a very compelling emotional list. Is there anything else that you want to go over on your list, or did you want to read any more from the declarations that were...
Again, the very compelling emotional list that has zero facts on it, but just Grayson's thoughts about a situation that she has zero understanding of.
Offered by people.
Maybe I'll read just like one more thing.
Okay.
I don't really know how much I want to get into it. Those declarations were like when somebody's being abused and everybody else is, and the next person's like, well, they were abusing me. It's very
And maybe tell people...
Yeah, it's called Darvo. We know what it is. And you're on the wrong side of it, little Gray Bay.
What a declaration is. What is the point of
Yeah,
this?
so a declaration is just you writing, I guess, your side to the court, and then the attorneys question you about that on the stand.
Okay. Right.
That's really a declaration.
So one of the things that were that was interesting to me was that in all of the declarations from the people on Lauren's side, Christina's lawyer was able to basically say that like huge swaths of what they were saying was completely irrelevant and had no business even being included in the court filings. So more context that these two seem very determined, these three, I guess, seem very determined to leave out.
Let's see. I wrote about it somewhere. Oh, this was interesting. This little segment was pretty much in all of
It is like a bad Twilight Zone because it's all bullshit.
the declarations that the stalker's friends had written on behalf of, or like in support or whatever, about what they knew. I dispute the allegations regarding Stalker's online posts and their alleged impact on Matthias, her husband, and which is me, sorry. It is not clear to me what posts and public comments Lauren and Grayson referenced in their declarations. However, I listened to and reviewed a significant amount of Stalker's content, some of which is about Lauren, which on the stand, Lindsay did testify that that account was made about Lauren. So,
Right.
I don't really think that that was a big secret, though, right? Like again, I can't speak for Christina, but I feel like the account was made in part for people who already knew what was going on and knew who she was referring to. And Grayson brings this out more than once. This, they admitted it was about Lauren. Like, I just don't see that that's a big deal. Yes, it's about Lauren. She's a terrible friend. She's a liar. She's a manipulator. She's a backstabber.
The content does not threaten, defame, or harass Matthias. Again, I would say that saying somebody wants to get pregnant with their brother's sperm is actually defamatory when that's not the truth.
She reported a conversation they had wherein Lauren suggested that she might consider being a surrogate for her brother's baby because he was tragically lost to a traumatic brain injury that was the result of a serious accident.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty awful.
Stalker does not purport to address Matthias indirectly or directly. Rather, Stalker is simply engaging in public discourse regarding topics of interest in the true crime community, which at times include Matthias and Matthias' conduct and public statements. Matthias has spoken publicly on many aspects of her personal life, her purported credentials, and a variety of true crime-related topics. From what I know of Matthias and Yor, based on their public statements and the time I've spent with them, I do not believe that they have suffered the adverse effects they describe in their declarations. I also do not believe that it would be reasonable for a public figure like Matthias, who's outspoken on many issues, to experience fear or emotional distress from others exercising their right to public discussions.
So, like, I don't necessarily agree that they haven't suffered from all of this anxiety and all that. I think that they have, but I don't think that it's related to what they're claiming it's related to, right? It's related to being revealed and exposed. So, just in case you're just joining us.
On issues of general interest. General interest is not somebody's dead brother.
Exactly, that's horrible. That's
not somebody's dead brother.
Again with the pathos and the appeal to the extreme. And now they're trying to say that Christina was being extreme by talking about those things. But again, I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again in case you haven't seen my other videos. I believe that Christina was trying to expose the lengths to which Lauren would be prepared to go to center herself in a tragedy. And that is relevant because of the way that she positioned herself with victims of terrible crimes in order to gain, fame and clicks and money and etc. And there are plenty of people who can explain to you, Tricia among them, the things that she did once she got in with the Woodcocks, that make it very clear that she was using the association with the victims' families to push her content. For instance, going back and making new thumbnails that included pictures of her with victims' family members. After she had gotten to know them, but the videos had been put up prior to that time. So that's just one of the manipulations that we're talking about. And one of the things that Lauren is prepared to do to put herself in the center of it, right? So I think that Christina's mention of her willingness to consider being a surrogate for her brother's child is just evidence of that.
That's a terrible. And whose declaration was that again?
These were
again. So this is again. They're just trying to appeal to the extreme, appeal to the emotions, to try to make you feel bad for Lauren without using any logic at all to explain why Christina might have done that. The only thing they're hoping that you're not going to come up with any other reason. What other reason could there possibly be, right? That you're going to go in with their logic. That the only reason could be because Christina's crazy and vicious and nasty and has no boundaries and no ethics and etc., right? I'm not 100% convinced that Tricia is engaged in Darvo here. I just think she's a useful idiot, basically.
Lori, Janice, and Lindsay had written declarations, and I mean, I'd have to read them all, but I'm pretty sure the last paragraph on each one was pretty much identical.
The same. That's pretty much on all of them. And
yeah.
How are they able to judge Lauren's feeling?
Yeah,
Jesus.
Yeah. How can you describe what I do not believe they've suffered adverse effects they described in their declarations?
So they're just saying what they believe, right? They are expressing the fact that they think that Lauren is manipulating the courts to try to get people to stop talking about her. So, yeah, to me, maybe she was feeling that way, but not for the reasons that she's claiming. And that's, to my mind, that's what they're getting at, right? Is that this is an act intended to get the courts to penalize Christina for, using her free speech, basically.
How the hell do they know?
That's rich of you to say what you believe that I've dealt with.
Right. Exactly.
I'd rather not show you my psych records, but my psych records, which talk about this exact thing, because I disclosed to my...
It's just wild to me that she is oblivious of the fact that bringing out her psych records and her need to take meds and seek therapy as a result of all of this is like, it's literally evidence of the fact that she needs to get away from those psychotic enmeshed weirdos that are keeping her, that are literally holding her hostage in their mess. And she doesn't see it. Neither of them do. Tricia is literally just embarrassing herself here just as badly as Judy Ron, Ed Wallace, Dr. Ron, and Lauren, and Grayson.
Psychiatrist, my brand new psychiatrist, because I wasn't seeing a psychiatrist before this.
Right.
They disclosed that I need medication because of this.
Exactly. And I can tell you, people, Grayson was devastated. She was scared. She was.
This woman should be so deeply ashamed of her inability to protect Grayson in any way at this point. Instead of protecting this young woman and giving her the advice that she needs to go home and get away from this crazy situation and save herself, she is giving her kudos for like being some great empathic friend, for risking her own mental health for all of these lies.
Didn't know what to do. It was a horrible, horrible time that you were going through. Obviously, along with Lauren.
Instead, she's over here amplifying it all and putting Grayson in the spotlight where she can be more affected by all of this. It's wild.
And so this thing has this horrible ripple effect. You know, it affects you, so it affects your job, which also affects your friends, it affects your family. It's a ripple effect.
Yeah, it affects everything, right? Like everyone could say, anyone could say, I'm going to come back to Monica's Find a New Dentist comment because I have some thoughts about that.
Okay.
I'll explain that in a second. Anyone could say, like, just go enjoy your life and get off social media and get the blah, blah, blah. Like, this is my career. And when this is happening, I actually haven't been home to see my family since May.
That is not evidence of anything good, my girl. No, indeed. This is evidence of enmeshment and the need for you to run. How these women here, these two, Tricia and Stacy, can sit there and listen to this without doing anything to try to protect this young adult is beyond me. I will never be able to look at these people the same way again.
I haven't seen my friends in my hometown since March. Like, and yeah, sure, anybody could say just go, but it actually just feels like I can't because I can't get a hold of what's happening in my...
It feels like I can't. And Lauren is helping you to feel that way instead of encouraging you to go. Lauren should literally cut her loose. There's no other way. There's no other way to look at this. Lauren should have cut her loose a long time ago.
Like, my mental health is also so destroyed.
And you can't pick up and
too far
you feel
job
right.
You feel
obligated. Not obligated. That's not the word. You're so close to Lauren and her family. You can't leave. What would you do at home? You'd worry the whole time.
She might be able to get some perspective, though. Hey? She might be able to allow some other thoughts in than the ones that Dr. John and Lauren are feeding her with. I am properly disgusted by this Tricia person here. Just disgusted.
You just worry, you know?
Exactly. So instead, I call my dad and I cry about it, and I just tell him I don't know what to do anymore. I call my sister and say I'm hopeless.
No.
But this doesn't end. My sister's like, please come home, come see us. And I'm like, I can't. Like, what if something happens and I'm too far gone and then I've got to rush to get back to where I lived?
How is she going to protect Lauren? What role does she think that she has? What if something happens and I'm too far gone? Who does she think she is? Like, what special power does she think she has? She's already told us there's nothing she can do and she's completely helpless. So this is all either lies or it's just the most insane lack of self-awareness that you could even conceive of, next to this insane lack of self-awareness that we have been watching unfold for weeks and weeks now.
Deal with this. Like, that's not, you know, this affects every aspect of your life.
Right.
I'm sure it is affecting every aspect of her life, but there's no need for it to be. And her admission that this is the way that she's carrying on, that this is the way she sees this, is evidence of how very little logic she is applying to the situation, and how very much you should ignore her interpretations of what's going on.
I would like to address this. Somebody said, has Grayson considered finding another creator to work for? I will never leave the people I work for, who are good people, because of things that other people are doing.
Exactly.
And
That's I'm sure that everybody thinks that's really, everybody being Duty Ron and Tricia Griffith think that that's just great, and that's evidence of what a wonderful and loyal person Grayson is. But anyone with any amount of sense whatsoever would say that's not what's important here, and you cannot get your mental health back just for nothing. So if you are struggling that much, your first responsibility is to yourself, Grayson. And I mean, maybe she is so narcissistic herself that this is all supply for her, and that's why she's refusing to go home. But there is no good explanation for any of this on her part that isn't just pure, unadulterated, emotional nonsense.
Yep. Not letting anybody chase you out, right?
they haven't done anything. And I'm not going to just leave them to deal with this alone.
You were not, they have done much, and you were there doing it with them, Missy. So that's a straight up lie. I'm getting a little worked up here.
That's like essentially anybody who knows about this and knows she didn't do anything and won't stand up and say something. That's not going to be me.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, is it hard to stand in the fire as it's happening? Yeah. Am I concerned because I'm 24 years old and this...
Oh, God, see, right? She's going to be getting a ton of this kind of nonsense from these flying monkeys. We're so proud of you, Grayson. Tricia, John, you're such a great person. You have so much empathy. You're such a good friend. You're such a loyal whatever. Like, run, Grayson. The only thing anybody should be saying to her is get the hell out of there and do it now.
my career, yeah. But I'm also at my core, I care about people.
Right.
I'm not going to leave somebody and leave the place I work for because of it. And that person probably meant well in their comment. I wasn't being mean.
I
But
know.
I'm just going to say that, like, I'm not going to just leave my job because I'm dealing with something like this.
Right.
No way.
No matter how much medication I have to take, no matter how many days I can't leave my hotel room, no matter how bad it gets, I'm going to sacrifice myself for Lauren. But really, it's for the attention that she gets for this. It's garbage.
like I said, I tried to stay offline. I went to another chat today for like all of 5 seconds, and they were actually talking about me and saying something about Grayson's parents wouldn't appreciate Lauren putting her through this and giving her all this fear. Lauren didn't give me fear. The stalker gave me fear. Let's
Right.
correct that.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. My parents are actually very happy with my career. My parents are actually pretty proud of me this week for speaking out on what's right.
As they should be. And
I mean, they probably are, but to be fair, you know, their parents, I'm gonna guess, like everybody else, only have one side of the story, right? Anybody that these people talk to, they're only giving them one side of the story. So, yeah, your parents are proud of you because you're filling them with a whole bunch of lies about what's actually going on.
I'm proud of you too. And
My dad has continued to
everybody in
say,
chat
don't
is
leave
too.
something. Yeah, my dad's continued to say, don't leave something that when they haven't done anything wrong, you stand up for what's right.
Exactly.
So, no, I'm not going to just quit my job. And yeah, Lauren and John tell me all the time, go home, take some time off. But like, it's hard. I'm just very committed to my job. I love my job. Anybody will tell you that. I love my job. I love to work. I love to do my thing. This has hindered my ability to do that
Of course.
effectively.
Right. Go home, Grayson. Go home.
And anybody would say that I could just go home, and in theory I could. But there's an underlying fear when you're going through a smear campaign and stalking and all of this stuff. There's an underlying fear of if I'm too far gone and something happens, I'm not.
Literally, how would she know what a stalking victim has gone through? Because she has never experienced it any more than Lauren has. So for her to be speaking on, you know, as a stalking victim is absolutely appalling, and it's evidence of Grayson's willingness, once again, to exploit real victims for her own benefit.
Not where I work regularly.
Right.
So I'm going to be trying to deal with something that's massive and not be there.
It's gonna make it worse. It's gonna make it worse.
Again, she needs to leave these people behind. There's nothing she can do. Is this evidence of grandiosity on behalf of Grayson here, that she thinks that she's so indispensable to this situation that without her, Lauren won't be able to cope? Like, I mean, my God. Who does she think she is exactly? She's swallowing all this BS from these people about what a great friend she is and how she's so loyal and everything. It's so maddening.
So that's where we're at. I'm not going to quit my job. I'm actually just going to stand by what's right. I'm going to defend the people I love even harder. I'm going to defend the people who I know didn't do anything even more.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And good for you.
It's hard not to kind of wonder about all these little happy smiles that we see behind this. When she's saying these things that are, supposed to be evidence of her loyalty and her steadfastness, right? When in fact, to me, they're just evidence of either A, her naivety, or B, her, the fact that she's getting supply from it.
Again, that's your character, Grayson, and that's why.
Right? Here we go, right? Stroke that ego some more, stroke her some more. Make sure she stays in there with these toxic nightmare people. Good going, Tricia.
Lauren loves you, that's why you're good at what you do. Stacey, you were going to say something, I think?
That's not why she's good at what she does, and whether she is or not, I couldn't say, but it's got nothing to do with it. My God, these people are embarrassing.
Stacey?
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you still sound kind of like you got your face in the grassy knoll here in Dallas.
I'm sorry. I just want to say one thing real quick.
Okay.
And that people are, what Grayson said about people saying, just turn off social media, don't look. That's the problem with this whole thing, is that this is real life. So even turning off social media doesn't mean they're not terrified.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't take away the fear. It doesn't take away the problem.
Yeah. I guess in some way.
I mean, it would have if they had all just shut off social media in the first place when Christina had a couple hundred followers. If they had just if they had just not obsessed about it, we wouldn't very likely be here at all. So, I can imagine that it's very difficult right now for them to ignore all this, particularly as they seem determined to carry on making videos as though nothing's happened. So yeah, I can imagine that's hard. But, we have seen other creators go bye-bye and, just go reinvent themselves somewhere else and do something else. And it's definitely possible. And I would say it's probably what I would recommend for a lot of them.
It almost feels like you need to keep a handle on what's going on, too.
Right.
Because you have, it's like a roadmap, I guess, in some ways for how much it's escalating, how much worse it's going to get. Like, you can't just shut it off.
Right. Exactly.
So, yeah.
See, all of these people are doing this. All of these people, mad respect. You're so strong. You're so amazing. And they all think that they're helping. It's the lack of critical thinking that is really most alarming to me. And it seems like, to me, it's like an epidemic in the society that we live in. And I find it shocking and disheartening, but here we go.
So, dentist comment, somebody commented,
Yeah, what does that mean? What's that about?
So, Lori's husband is or was my dentist. Lori is the stalker friend. Not Lori Ellis. Not Lori Ellis.
Okay.
Lori is the stalker's friend from California, which is where California is my home. It's where my family is.
Okay, so she's friends with the stalker. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Lori's husband is my dentist. I'm going to say he's a really good dentist. I have a fear of a dentist, and he was wonderful and helped me with that a lot. And I haven't been there since a little bit before all this has started, but there has been 2 times this dentist office has reached out to me. Let me give you the dates. I don't know. I don't know if they're just a coincidence, but let's see. There were 2 times. I want to pull up those dates because those dates are really interesting to me that this dentist office has reached out to me.
Okay.
She's interested in these dates in the same way that we are interested in the fact that the Proton email went out on the anniversary of the children being found on Chad Daybell's property.
April 2nd. Hi, Grayson. We were wondering if you would come in this Friday for your cleaning you had to miss. We have 10 or 11. I had missed that cleaning, I think, in January. It had been a couple months.
Okay.
If not, we have more times this week. That was as I was driving to Arizona for Lord Daybell's trial. And the week before,
How is this suspicious? Good God.
Was confronted. This smear campaign had already taken effect.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was reached out to on Tuesday, September 23rd. So, 3 weeks ago? The day after, I think it was the day after the initial court hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Grayson. Haven't heard from them since April.
Do these people really think that businesses are trolling them? This is absurd. This is the first I've heard of this, but it's ridiculous.
Hi, Grayson. Are you available tomorrow afternoon to catch up on that cleaning from earlier this year? We can get you all caught up and back on a good schedule. Let us know. That, to my knowledge, or to at least the knowledge that I had when I was seeing that, Lori worked at that dental office on Tuesdays. Why am I getting a text from this dental office on a Tuesday? There's no way her husband doesn't know about this, in my opinion.
Right.
Why are they texting me the day after this hearing, asking me if I want to come in for a dental appointment?
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is?
Is it because they're your dentist?
I mean, if I had to guess, I'm still paying this dental office for some work I got done.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they're probably maybe a little bit concerned that their employee confronted me in public. And that's coming out publicly, or at that point was coming out in court documents.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is evidence of nothing. And again, they're trying to, this pathos thing, this, by the dates being close to the dates of other things that happened, that's somehow logical proof that this entire dentist office is in on trolling Grayson.
I don't know. The timing on both feels very suspicious to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does seem
before
suspicious.
Confrontation when all of
This is literally the stupidest thing I have heard throughout all of this, and I have heard a lot of stupid things.
This thing reaching out the week before this whole thing kicks off.
Mm-hmm.
When I believe, to my knowledge, somebody said this had been going on for at least a week and a half prior. So I think that they probably were trying to get a feel on if I was going to this trial or what I was doing. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
just
then
trying to get information.
The day after.
It's really, really shocking of her to make these accusations of this dentist and his practice, that they are engaged in this kind of subterfuge. And I wonder if they know that she has said this. I mean, I guess they probably do now if Lori has seen this, but what the... What? What? I mean, at least Christina et al. Have some evidence. My God.
Stalking injunction hearing where this woman and I are essentially both testifying for opposite sides.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
Yeah.
That's just me. I could be overthinking that one, but
like Tanya Jones says, go with your gut, Grayson. Go with your gut. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Somebody says Lori's husband, the dentist, where was going on. I don't know, but he was a really good dentist. I'm actually sad to lose him. He was really good, and he was really kind. I don't think he would have done this. He's actually very, very kind.
She doesn't think he would have done this, and yet she's accusing his practice of doing this. She's accusing his wife or somebody who works for him of doing this with zero, and I mean zero, evidence. This is the integrity that these people have.
LDS man, very kind. So.
Well, yeah, I hope you don't have to find any dentist, but it would be very awkward to go back there. I think very, very awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she has to find a new dentist, Tricia. She's not exactly a genius, is she, this woman?
So, no, I'll be working on finding a new dentist. Unfortunately, I've just been extremely preoccupied for the last few months, so that's kind of been on the...
Seems like she's not going to be working super hard on that since they've been trying to get her to come in for a cleaning since January. But, okay.
Bottom. Somebody said if you have outstanding bills. Oh, they did charge my credit card. I will say they charged my credit card the other day. They charged me once a month. I had to pay out of pocket for everything, so I just was just charging once a month. They did charge my credit card the day of Lauren's live, which I owe the money, so whatever. But yeah, interesting. I often have the thought,
They charged my credit card, which I agreed to before any of this ever happened in any way whatsoever, and I'm just going to mention it because it's maybe going to help to throw some shade on them, even though it's completely irrelevant.
Funding my own attack at this point. It's very weird.
Funding my own attack? Those people did work for you and you agreed to pay them for it. You lying little sack of lies.
Yeah, exactly. It is kind of, it's
Exactly. What is this woman... How do these people live with themselves? I don't understand how these people live with themselves, honestly.
odd how that happened. You know, what are the odds that somebody's
Here's Tricia up here now, trashing this dentist, trashing Lori's husband's dental practice, based on what? Based on what little Grayson just told us? Like, this is an investigative reporter? I can't believe anybody is watching these people. Good Lord.
doing this to you, and they work for your dentist. Now, is she married to the dentist? Is that what
Yeah,
somebody
that's
said?
her husband.
Okay.
Her,
Yeah, okay.
her husband owns the dental office.
Very, very strange. Very, very strange.
Yeah.
None of it is strange. Grayson is smearing these people to get your pity and your sympathy.
So,
Okay.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
the dental thing. People have been like, get a new dentist. I don't
It's
know.
not top of the
When
list.
you're
Yeah.
dealing with a stalking case and then you're dealing with a smear campaign, you all
She's not dealing with a stalking case or a smear campaign. She's dealing with a couple of narcissists who have enmeshed her in their little cult.
just don't have time to do everything else or the emotional energy.
Let me ask you, maybe you don't know, and maybe you don't want to answer, and you don't have to.
I think her time would have been better spent getting her teeth cleaned than doing this interview.
It stopped. As far as the comments to calling up her Lauren's colleagues and the leaking of these messages, how do we know if that stopped?
I wouldn't know necessarily what stopped. Again, I'm not really trying to go on social media that much right now.
Right.
I don't really know what's happening online.
Mhm.
Pretty sure she knows by now.
Well, I can tell you
Or the
everything
posts
I've seen.
made on TikTok, I don't really know.
Right. Everything I've seen online, and it's just, I haven't been to TikTok, but very positive, 100% positive. You know, it's just been amazing. But
Yeah.
I haven't gone a lot
Again, this was a few weeks ago, so clearly that's not the case anymore.
of places. I looked into that.
I don't know if people are still being contacted. If you are, let us know.
I had a really fun time going over to the Vinnie Politan Investigates episode that had Lauren on it the other day. Not really to watch the episode. I watched a little clip of Lauren because so many of the comments were about how her face was not moving. So I watched it and I saw that. But I basically went to read the comments. And the comment section was absolutely full to overflowing with comments about Lauren having been unmasked as a grifter and a scam artist and an abuser of trust and of victims of crime. So that was very I don't think they're getting out of this at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I do know that a lot of people texted me while Lauren was live saying, "This makes so much sense. I'm sorry I didn't see this sooner. I understand now." Yeah, a lot of people have kind of, as the evidence has rolled out, they've seen and understood so much more that they didn't.
Does that make you feel better? Does that help?
I think that's true, right? Like, there's been so many people in my comments saying, wow, like, I felt like something was wrong and I couldn't put my finger on it, and I started this, and this was the process that I went through, and now I have completely unsubbed and am no longer interested in anything that Hidden True Crime has to say.
Yeah, I like to pretend that nobody I know is at. Lauren and I kind of said the same thing. We like to, I like to pretend that like my people at home aren't really watching the videos of me crying and stuff.
Right.
But I'm grateful that people have rallied around us, and the messages of support have been really overwhelming. And like I said, it's given me a little bit more hope and humanity.
It does.
Full care.
Right.
Again, that's not how things are now.
It helps you realize there are good people out there. But it doesn't take very many bad people to ruin things. And,
Yeah.
you know, one thing I mentioned last night,
Right, Tricia? I'm afraid you are counting yourself among the good people when in reality you should be maybe asking yourself, like the meme, are we the baddies? Yeah, you are.
you haven't heard this, but I want to tell you this. When I had my situation where people were harassing me and bullying me and you know, jumping on the bandwagon when I had that lawsuit against me years ago, the person that learned Websleuths, and they literally made up lies about me. They put up a website. It was awful. And when the truth came out that all these things
Okay, so that explains a little bit about why she's so willing to jump in here and protect everybody. I have no idea what that lawsuit was about. So from my point of view right now, either she deserved it, and she's relating to these guys from that position of having been caught out, or she didn't deserve it and she thinks that these people are in the same position as her. I don't know. If people know, I would love to hear about it.
being accused of weren't true. I did have many of those people come back and apologize. And there was one person who told me, she said, I'm going to wake up every day and look in the mirror and say, how could you do this? And I'm going to spend every day trying to make it up to you. And I said, you don't need to.
Yeah.
I said, don't do that to yourself. I said, but I do want to know. Why? Why did you do it? Why did you jump on this bandwagon when there was no proof of all these horrible things I said I was doing? And she said, I don't.
It's crazy, isn't it? A projection? It's absolutely wild. Like, she's literally doing the exact thing right now. It's very Dr. John.
Don't know.
Yeah.
I don't, and they don't know. And I think that's when that very well could start happening with you and Lauren.
They don't know. I've asked them why did they jump on the bandwagon, and they don't know. Right? But everyone in this situation who has spoken out against Lauren does know. They do know. They got the information, they followed the information, they looked at all the evidence, and they made up their minds. So all these people that don't know why they jumped on the bandwagon, those are the people that, it's the same type of people that don't know why they're supporting Lauren without any evidence that she didn't do the things she's been accused of.
They start coming back and apologizing, and just they don't have a reason why they did it, you know?
Yeah.
They don't.
I know Lauren would never hope that people look in the mirror like that every day, and I wouldn't either.
Oh, I didn't
I
that.
hope that,
She felt so guilty. When she found out the truth, she felt so guilty.
Yeah.
Like, don't, thank you for apologizing. We're even. It's all good. Go ahead. Live your life, you know? But yeah.
But I will say that I think that...
So, like, maybe people should feel guilty if they're jumping on bandwagons that they shouldn't be on, and, you know, so they've apologized, great, but maybe they should self-reflect. Maybe looking in the mirror every day and going, why did I do that? I shouldn't have done that. Maybe doing that, at least for a little while, is not such a bad idea.
I hope people, everybody who's heard about this, can be kinder, can love harder, can look for signs of this kind of stuff. When you're told something about somebody, maybe just say, like, do you have proof of that? Is there evidence?
Yeah, and this is a good lesson for everybody. Just because somebody says it doesn't make it true. And always remember that.
So they do have evidence, right? They just didn't actually release it. So, you know, I don't believe Grayson's, you know, searching through 6 years of Lauren's texts proves anything. Because either, I mean, we already know what she's willing to say and do to protect Lauren. We know what Lauren's willing to do to manipulate reality. So there's nothing, she's got nothing here. Once again, nothing.
No matter what situation you're in, ask to see the proof, you know, and don't take everything at face value. That's how it changed me. And it made me less trusting. Like I told you, it's changed your DNA, it changed my DNA.
It made her less trusting, and yet here she is, hook, line, and sinker with these guys. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to end it there. There's about an hour left. Thank you all for watching, and let me know if you want me to do the third part. There's, like I say, about an hour left. Otherwise, I will move on to Megan, which I'm actually kind of looking forward to because I haven't seen that yet, and I want to hear how she frames all of this complicity with Lauren. So, until next time. Thanks for coming, thanks for watching, thanks for sharing, thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing. And if you haven't done any of those things, thanks anyway.